My husband took me to a hotel. Then he locked the door and walked away. I never thought a simple weekend getaway would turn into the scariest night of my life. My husband, Adil, had been acting strange for weeks, distant, cold, like he was hiding something. But when he surprised me with a trip to a luxury hotel, I convinced myself he was just trying to make up for lost time. Maybe I was overthinking. Maybe he still loved me. The hotel was beautiful, quiet, and just far enough from the city to feel like a true escape. Adil didn't say much on the drive. He just kept staring ahead, tapping the steering wheel, lost in thought. I tried asking what the plan was, if we were meeting someone, but he brushed it off with a quick smile and said, "Just relax. You'll see." When we reached the room, something felt off. It was too perfect. Everything was neatly arranged, almost staged. I looked around, trying to shake the growing unease. Adil placed our bags down, walked over to the door, and then he did something that made my heart stop. He stepped outside, turned around, looked me straight in the eyes, and locked the door from the outside. I rushed to the handle, jiggling it, shouting his name, but he was already walking away, not once turning back. My hands were shaking. I called out again, but the hallway remained silent. I grabbed my phone. No signal. The room suddenly felt colder, tighter, like the walls were closing in. Why would my husband bring me here and then leave me alone like this? Was it a test, a punishment, or was someone else involved? I didn't know yet, but what I was about to discover in that hotel room would change everything I believed about the man I married. I stood there frozen, staring at the door as if it would magically open again. My chest felt tight, my thoughts spinning faster than I could catch them. I didn't understand. This wasn't a joke. Adil wasn't the kind of man who played cruel games. At least I didn't think he was, but something inside me knew. This wasn't just a misunderstanding. I walked slowly around the room, trying to calm my breathing. Everything looked normal, too normal. A bottle of wine on the table, two glasses, fresh towels folded perfectly. But the silence was heavy. Was this about another woman? Was he trying to scare me? Or was there something even darker behind all of this? I felt something twist in my stomach. I sat on the edge of the bed, trying to piece things together. Then my eyes landed on a small envelope tucked under the TV remote on the nightstand. It hadn't been there when we entered. Or had it? I reached for it slowly, my fingers trembling. My name was written on it. That's when I knew. This wasn't just about a fight. This was something Adil had planned, something I wasn't supposed to understand until it was too late. My hands trembled as I opened the envelope. The paper inside was folded neatly, almost too neatly, like someone had spent a lot of time making sure it looked calm, normal, but the words written inside were anything but. Don't try to leave. Don't call anyone. I'll explain everything soon. Just stay in the room. No name, no signature, just those words. I read it again, hoping I had misunderstood, but the message was clear, and it wasn't comforting. It didn't feel like a husband trying to protect his wife. It felt like a warning. I started to wonder if I really knew the man I married. Adil had always been private, even secretive at times, but I thought I understood him. I thought I could read him. Now I wasn't so sure. What was he planning? And why here, in this isolated hotel, far away from anyone we knew? I stood up and walked to the mirror. My reflection didn't look like me. My eyes were wide, my skin pale. Fear was changing me. I thought about calling the front desk, but then I realized I hadn't even noticed which floor we were on. We came straight up in the elevator. He pressed the button. I wasn't paying attention. I had trusted him. I looked around the room again, searching for clues. And then I saw it. His suitcase was gone. Only mine was left. He hadn't come here to stay the night with me. He'd come here to leave me. Suddenly, I remembered something strange from last week. Adil had received a package, small, wrapped in brown paper. When I asked about it, he said it was just something for work and tucked it away in his closet. I didn't think about it again until now. What if that package had something to do with this? I couldn't help but wonder if I was caught in something bigger than I could understand. Was Adil in trouble? Was he trying to protect me or use me? As I tried to make sense of it all, a soft knock echoed from the door. I froze. It was gentle, polite, like someone didn't want to startle me. But in that moment, it was the most terrifying sound I'd ever heard. I wasn't expecting anyone. I didn't move. I just stared at the door, heart pounding so loud it echoed in my ears. The knock came again, still soft, still controlled. Whoever it was, they weren't in a hurry. That made it worse. I slowly stepped back as quietly as I could until my back hit the wall near the bathroom. My mind was racing. Should I answer? Pretend I wasn't here? Scream? But what if it was a deal? What if he had come back? I waited. The knock didn't come again. Instead, something slid under the door. A piece of paper. I forced myself to take a step forward and picked it up. It was handwritten, rushed this time, and it sent chills down my spine. You need to leave. Now he's not who you think he is. I dropped the paper, my fingers going cold. Who wrote it? And why would they warn me like this, unless they knew something dangerous? I ran to the window again, pulled at the lock. Still sealed tight. No fire escape, no balcony, just a long drop down. Panic was setting in now. I paced the room, replaying every moment from the past few weeks. The late-night phone calls Adil would take outside, the strange tension in his voice, his sudden kindness this morning, like a man making peace before doing something terrible. What had he gotten himself into? My thoughts were interrupted by a noise, a soft rustling. I turned sharply. It was coming from the vent near the ceiling. I pulled a chair over, climbed up, and held my breath as I peeked inside. Nothing but darkness. Still, I couldn't shake the feeling someone was watching me. Suddenly, the TV turned on by itself. A low crackling filled the room, then silence, and then a video began to play. I stepped closer, trying to make sense of the blurry image. It was footage from a hallway, this hallway, and in the center of the frame was me, standing at the door minutes earlier, trying to open it. I stared in shock. Someone had been watching me the entire time, recording me. The screen flickered again. A new message appeared in bold letters across the screen. Now you see what he's done. My blood ran cold. And then the power in the room went out. The room went black. I stood frozen, surrounded by complete silence. No light, no hum from the air conditioner, not even the quiet buzz of electricity. Just darkness pressing in from all sides. I fumbled for my phone, using its screen to light the room. The moment it lit up, I gasped. A second envelope was lying on the bed. I hadn't heard anyone enter. I didn't see it get placed. I hadn't taken my eyes off the door. And yet, there it was. My hands shook as I picked it up and opened it. Inside was a single line written in the same neat handwriting as the first letter. Check the closet. Every part of me screamed not to do it. But I had to know. I needed answers. Slowly, I walked across the room to the tall closet next to the bathroom. I hesitated for a second, then reached for the handle and pulled it open. At first, I thought it was empty. But then I saw something at the bottom, covered with a hotel blanket. I crouched down and gently peeled it back. A camera. Not just any camera, a small black recording device with a blinking red light. Still running. facing directly outward, recording whoever opened the closet. Me. I stumbled back, nearly falling. My mind couldn't keep up. Why was there a hidden camera in here? And more importantly, how long had it been recording? And then I saw something even worse. Taped to the side of the closet wall, partially hidden behind the camera, was a photo, a printed image. I pulled it out, and my knees nearly gave out. It was a picture of me, but not from today. It was taken weeks ago. I was walking home from work, completely alone. I never saw anyone, never noticed a camera, but someone had been following me. My heart raced. This wasn't just about a deal leaving me in a hotel. This was something bigger, something dangerous. He knew about this. He had to. I sat on the edge of the bed again, gripping the photo. My head spun with questions. Was a deal being blackmailed? Was he protecting me? Or was he the one behind all of it? Then I remembered something from years ago. Adil once told me about a deal he regretted making, something that never really went away. At the time, I thought he was just venting about an old business deal, but now, I wasn't so sure. I opened the room's drawer, desperate for anything that might give me more answers. Inside was another note, hidden beneath the hotel notepad. This one was printed, not handwritten. You still have time to walk away, but if you want the truth, go to room 609. My stomach dropped. Room 609. Was that where Adil had gone? Or was someone waiting for me? The lock clicked behind me. I turned slowly, barely breathing. The door was opening. The door creaked open slowly, and I stood frozen, my breath caught in my throat. A silhouette stepped in. For a second, I thought my legs would give out, until the hallway light hit his face. It was Adil. He looked different, tired, wild-eyed, like he hadn't slept in days. I didn't say a word. I just stared. He closed the door behind him, then locked it again. Slowly, he walked toward me, his eyes filled with something I couldn't quite name, regret or fear. I didn't want it to happen like this, he whispered. I clenched the note from the drawer in my hand. What's in room 609? He hesitated. The end of this. I stepped back. Tell me what's going on, Adil, now. He sat on the edge of the bed, buried his face in his hands. I made a deal years ago with someone I should have never trusted. It started as a financial favor, but they recorded everything, every transaction, every slip-up. I thought I paid them off, but they never really went away. He looked up at me, eyes glassy. They threatened you, said if I didn't cooperate, they'd hurt you. Or worse. So I brought you here, to keep you away while I dealt with them. Then why the cameras, the notes? Why lock me in like some kind of prisoner? Because they were already watching us, he said. I couldn't risk you leaving. They said if you stepped out of this room, they'd release everything. Photos, videos, fabricated evidence. They'd ruin you. I thought locking you in would keep you safe. I stared at him, the pieces falling into place. I believed him. But something still didn't sit right. I glanced down at the envelope from room 609. Adil followed my eyes. You didn't go? Did you? I shook my head. He let out a breath of relief. Good, because room 609 doesn't exist. My heart dropped. What? He stood up. There is no room 609 in this hotel. They created that note to lure you out. And if you'd gone... He didn't finish the sentence. But then came the final twist. My phone buzzed. One new message, from my own number. It read, he's lying. Room 609 is real. I've been there. The message was followed by a photo. It was me, tied to a chair, and I had no memory of it. My hands went cold as I stared at the screen. The photo, me tied to a chair, was real. The lighting, the hotel walls, even the clothes I wore, all matched. but I had no memory of it. None. I looked up at Adil, his expression confused as he stepped closer, trying to see the phone. When he read the message, he froze. "That's not possible," he whispered. "That never happened." My mind was spinning. If he wasn't behind it, then who was? Was someone trying to make us doubt each other? Break us apart completely? I scrolled back, searching for clues. The sender number. It looked like mine, but with one digit off. A cloned number. Someone was playing a sick game, and we had both become pawns. I sat down, trying to breathe. "We need to get out of here," I said. "Whoever is doing this, they're close, maybe in this hotel." Adil nodded slowly. "I'll handle it, but we're going together this time." We grabbed what little we brought, and for the first time since I'd entered that room, he unlocked the door beside me. The hallway was empty, but everything felt different now. We weren't just escaping a hotel room. We were walking away from something deeper, a trap made of secrets, silence, and guilt. Back in the car, the air felt lighter, but the fear lingered. We didn't speak for a long time. I stared out the window, watching the city blur past, still trying to make sense of it all. Later that night, we filed a report with the police, showed them the photo, the messages, everything. They traced the fake number to an unregistered burner phone. Whoever was behind it knew exactly how to disappear. Weeks passed. Life slowly returned to normal, or something like it. But nothing was quite the same again. I checked over my shoulder more often. Adil tried harder. He was more open, more present, but trust, once cracked, doesn't heal overnight. We never found out who sent the messages or how they got the photo. But one thing was clear: someone had been watching us for a long time, waiting for the right moment to break us. And they almost did. This whole experience taught me something I hadn't expected. Danger isn't always loud. Sometimes it hides behind the people you love. And sometimes surviving isn't about running. It's about seeing the truth, even when it hurts, and never ignoring the feeling when something just isn't right.